Hi, welcome to Board Game Express. Today we're going to do a rules blitz for Castles of Burgundy. Now, Castles of Burgundy is going to be played out over 5 phases, and in each of these 5 phases you're going to have 5 rounds where the players are going to be able to do their actions. So, to start off each phase, go ahead and clear off the board of any tiles that were not used in the previous phase. Of course, this step is not necessary on turn 1. And then go ahead and stock the spaces with tiles of the appropriate matching color according to your player count. So if you're playing a 3-player game, for example, you would cover all the 2s and 3s and leave all the 4s empty. Then players will roll their own die, and you'll roll the white die, and whatever you roll, you put the goods in the proper space in the depot with the matching number. All right, now in turn order, all players are going to use their 2 dice to do 2 actions. Your actions are listed on the bottom right of your board. The first one is use a die to pick up a tile from the board of a matching number. So in this case, if I were to spend a 4, I would be able to pick up something from this region right here. When you are spending a die, you have something called workers. They've got a little +1, -1 symbol on it. That means you can spend workers to modify the value of any of the dice you're about to use, plus or minus 1. You are allowed to use more than 1 worker at a time, so if I wanted to flip a 4 into a 6, I can spend 2 of them. And you are allowed to go from a 6 to a 1 with 1 worker, or vice versa. All right, so first thing you can do, pick up a tile from the board. Second thing you can do is you can play a tile that you've picked up previously. So for example, if I play a 4 and I pick this up, you'll put it in your storage. You're only allowed to keep 3 at a time. And then I can spend a 2 to put this out onto the board, like this. Now, when you are playing a tile onto your board, 3 things have to match. The color of the tile you're playing has to match the color you're placing it on. The number of the die you are using has to match the number of the location. Remember, you can use workers if you need to adjust. And the third thing is you're going to start the game with this central castle piece. You have to build a new tile adjacent, and you have to grow from there. So in the beginning, you only get to use the 6 immediately adjacent, so I can place here. You would not be allowed to just sort of jump onto the edge of the board. Now, when you play a tile, you are going to gain a benefit, and that benefit is going to depend on which of the 6 tiles you have placed, as well as for the building and the knowledge stacks, the beige and the light green stacks. There's quite a large variety, so until you get familiar with the game, it's probably a lot easier for you to just check in the rulebook to see what each thing does. So, just as an example, if you were to place a shipping tile, it would boost you up in turn order, and it would allow you to pick up all the goods from one depot. And each different tile has their own effect. But that is the second thing you can do. You can play a tile. Now, as you advance in the game, you are eventually going to play out more and more. And when you finish out a region with 1 solid color, so for example, this blue region here with the 3 blue, you will immediately score a region closure bonus. You're going to get 2 things. You're going to get this bonus listed under the phase, so whenever you do it, you'll get 10, 8, 6, 4, or 2 points on top. If you do it in the first phase, you're going to get a nice juicy 10 points. Second, you're going to get a bonus equivalent to the size of the region that you just closed out. So it's a triangular scheme. If you finish a 3 zone, you're going to score 1 plus 2 plus 3 points, so a total of 6. So you get 6 plus the time bonus plus whatever benefits of placing the tile. So that's the second action, place a tile. The third action you can do is to ship a good. So you have to use a matching number to the good that you currently have in your inventory. And if you kind of observe your board, you're only allowed to have 3 different kinds of good at any one time. If you have duplicates of the same good, you would just stack them like this on top of each other. When you ship a good, you're going to earn a silverling for your trouble, and you're going to flip over the entire stack. So let's say I used a 4 to flip this stack. And you're going to score points for each flipped tile equal to the number of players in the game. So in a 3-player game, you'd score 3 each for 6. And now you've opened up this slot, so I could potentially pick up 2 other different kinds of goods tiles in the future. So the third action is shipping. The fourth and final action is unfortunately the sort of the bad action. If there's nothing better that you can do, you can always spend the die to pick up 2 more workers. And that'll give you a little bit of leeway for future rolls, mitigate luck a little bit. Now, finally, the last thing you can do on your turn is listed right under here. As you play the game, you're going to earn these things called silverlings. You will start the game with one. You can spend 2 silverlings during your turn to immediately buy one of the black market items. So these are the black-backed ones that are placed in the middle of the board. You can buy any one of these and place it in your storage. You can do this either before or after or in between your 2 dice uses, so very free. There's a 1x here on your player board. That just indicates that you can only pick up 1 such tile per turn. So if you got a stack of 6, you can't just go boom, boom, boom and pick up 3 of them. That'd be a little unfair. All right, so once everyone has used all their dice, that round is over. You will simply roll the white die again for the next round, put this out, and then rinse and repeat. At the end of the phase, you will clear off all the unused tiles and then draw new ones to fill in. And you will put out the 5 new goods for each round as well. And finally, every mine that each player has built will give the player 1 silverling. So that's an additional, that's basically what the mines are for. So the earlier you build those, the better. At the end of the game, you're going to score up any of these yellow knowledge tiles, and you also get a little bit of points for any leftover resources like silverlings and goods, and that will be it. Those are all the rules for Castles of Burgundy.